we weer echte heren kraak en elke puzzel we verdedigen de meid in kort. Waar komt al het magie vandaan? Wie is er hier gestoord? LAYTON versus Phoenix.
Hallo kijkers van ShineSprites, welkom bij een gloednieuwe aflevering van LAYTON versus Phoenix. Samen met Sander van GamingSB. Will you please tell the court exactly what you mean when you say shade?
Nee, wil ik niet. Oh.
Toch wel? Yes, of course. I grow weary of standing behind this bench. I will tell you all I can. In Philippine?
What did you hear about the testify?
Witness testimony.
Shades.
Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them, I am known as the Great Witch. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades, who live their lives in the woods. We exist to carry out tasks given us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit.
Wat?
What on earth? High Inquisitor Darklaw? Do you mean that to say that not only you are a witch, but that you are the Great Witch? Unbelievable! I do hope you've not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It's not possible for Miss Darklaw to be Bezella. But Inquisitor LAYTON, surely the testimony just now proves it. I am afraid that in heat of such revelations you have all misheard the information. This is pointless. This is the extent of what the people of this town will believe. I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright?
Ja.
Defender, you may begin your interrogation. Eng. Dat was je even vergeten om te zeggen.
Ja.
Ik ben van die muntjes gebruiken. Eng. We moeten pressen, dan doen we dat.
Even pressen.
Great Witch? Yes, that's right. However, I'm not Bezella. The mistress to those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Witch. Even if I wanted to be Bezella, I couldn't. Oh, I couldn't. As the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier, I cannot use magic. Miss Darklaw, I have one question. What do you mean by live outside the realm? I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. Now, surely one as intelligent as yourself worked out the answer by now, no? Perhaps that remains to be seen, Miss Darklaw. Regardless, it's something we cannot discuss with anyone. But it is something that the defense should be able to prove. By the way, Miss Darklaw, since you're not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that? To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the shades. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trial become shades who live in the woods. So you're saying that Kira here right now is a shade version from the Kira before? Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her prior to living in those woods. Okay. What manner of witch?
Dat dan wel?
Huh?
Hoezo had Maya dat dan wel? Toch?
Was Maya daar uiteindelijk ingevallen?
Ja, want daardoor kwam ze erachter dat LAYTON nog leefde. Nou, ja.
What manner of witchery is this? This girl, Kira, the flower seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes. That's right, Your Honor. But as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there's actually a trick to the incineration device in the witch's court.
Incineration device.
A trick? Ja, die. Ja. Wat Sander zei. Once the verdict has been delivered, the court attendants move the steel cage into position, after which it seals shut.
Ja. Holy damn, dikke explosie. Kaboom!
Yeah. Then the cage is dropped down into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into the underground passage. If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what of this town witch purging history? What have been the purpose of all of this? You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of witches. However, nary a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality. But you cannot truly accept me to believe such a ridiculous notion.
Ja.
Your Honor, it's true. Take a good hard look. It doesn't get any more alive than this. Ah, it's you. Yeah, May.
Maya.
Well, it's actually Maya Fey. You forgetfulness. What the heck are you doing? Everyone is gonna recognize you. Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you. Do you agree? Do you see? Are you satisfied? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic and memory. They are then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Witch. As you can see, this girl, too, has become a shade. I have no more words to express my utter disbelief at this situation. That's enough. Shall we return to the testimony?
Ja.
Eh? We exist to carry out tasks given by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. These tasks you mentioned, were you acting on them this evening? Ja, dat heeft ze al een paar keer gezegd. Yes, I was told to come here and become Bezella. What? Oh, wacht, nee, sorry. Wait just a moment. Did you just say become Bezella?
Ja, dat was niet.
Maar dat is heel nieuw, hè. Order, order! I'm sorry, I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I am given. If I can do that, then I can return. What do you mean, you can return? Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch. There's is an existence spent in the shadows. Huh? Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then upon successfully completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people. But Lady Darklaw, how can they return as brand new citizens, when we already know who they are? Who they were. For instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us. Now that, my lord, remains a secret. But a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later. Is this just a mirage? Simply babbling. The one who gives us our task is the Great Witch. That would be you, Lady Darklaw. I mean, oh, magnificent one. While this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend, I request the witnesses add it to their testimony. Okay. Lady Alweer?
Ja, we moeten veel pressen, joh.
Yeah. So, about these tasks, can you give us any other examples? A shade's task must never be discussed with others, no matter what. Incidentally, do you perhaps remember when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders? Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy. Say, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shades thingies? Still, I failed in my task tonight.
Hey, maar dan zou ze toch dood moeten gaan. I remember being blown clear across the marketplace. Ja, dat was ook bij haar.
Yeah. Maybe. Kira was giving the task of blowing you to the smithereens, Nick. And we're done. Getting back to this testimony.
Ja, want dat vond ik dus zo gek dat ze dat ook niet herinnerden. Maar dat vinden hun dus ook gek.
Yeah. You really don't have any recollection of an old flower selling self, do you? I don't. When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life. They lose their memories? But why? And yet you still have some grasp of the concept of magic. Do you not, witness? Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in the Eldritch Woods. Oh, but there are actually a lot of things back in the forest that I have not seen in this town. There are things you haven't seen here? Like really huge machines, that sort of thing. There's one that spits out fire in such amazing speed, and then it expels their huge plumes of grey smoke. A machine that spits fire? Never I have heard of such a thing. Ja, dat is natuurlijk de hele charade.
Ja.
Are you sharing that these machines of which you speak are not simply magic? You know, now that you mention it, I don't think anyone from this town can actually see those of us from the forest. They can't see you?
Maar we kunnen haar toch zien.
Yeah, how can such a thing even be possible without magic?
Objection.
Miss Darklaw, if I may interrupt for just a moment. What is it, Inquisitor Layton? Through your testimony just now, we have all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades? If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. Once you are have done that, the answer should be quite clear. Isn't that right, Defender? Rest assured, you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender. Oké.
Oké. Zo gaat het er.
There is but one true purpose for the shades that dwell within the Eldritch Woods.
Nee. Nee. Nee, dit sowieso niet. Lijkt me ook niet, toch? Zo door. Nee. Hé, je kunt nog één verder? Wat is dat? Of doe je dan gewoon het boek weer dicht? Oh, dat is Gramworm. Oké. Ja, weet ik het.
Ik ga hem heel even saven voor de zekerheid.
One true purpose for the shades that dwell with. En we moesten hier iets procenten.
Ja. Ja, dat moet van de Grand Grimoire zijn. Ik denk dat het misschien toch wel Grandworm is.
Dat zou ook kunnen. Dat is de enige bij wie ik niet zeker ben.
Objection.
Ja, het is goed. Muziek stopt. Since I arrived here in Labyrinthia, there's been no shortage of really strange events. Ignace, Demir, Godor, Goldor, and now Grandworm. The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not? In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They are then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death by fire wasn't real. And neither is magic. It doesn't really exist. What are you saying, Defender? The Eldritch Woods apparently contain of some rather large machines, unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke.
Ja, oké.
On top of it all, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines. It sounds like nothing more than magic. Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw. Magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it? Magic does not. What utter nonsense! It seems we have finally arrived at the stunning conclusion. The secret behind Labyrinthia. What? Order, 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 I say. What is the meaning of this? It means that all of the magic you've seen in this town was nothing more than an illusion created and put into motion by the shades. But Defender, the witches, we have clearly seen them use magic. Let us take a moment to think carefully about the systems employed by the shades. Systems? What is essential in order for a witch to use magic? The witches must possess Athalia Magica and must say an incantation in order to cast a spell.
So, yeah.
And the spells able to cast are determined by the scepter magic gems. Now, what do you think of the purpose of placing such requirements on the use of magic? What do you mean, purpose? These requirements are not there to allow the user to cast magic. Rather, the reality is they are there to inform the shades of who should be using magic.
Ja, precies.
It is possible that witches were always being closely observed by shades. That's why they donned these robes, to appear hidden until they were needed to create magic. Create? Indeed, there are all kinds of spells within the stone. It would be quite troublesome if they were simply allowed to use any spell at will. Yeah, it would make the Shade's job much more difficult, for sure. Precisely so. That is why it was imperative that a certain restriction be placed on the use of magic. Ah, you're referring to the Telemagica, right, Professor? Of course, no wonder the scepter could contain only 2 magic gems. Oftewel, then there's one incantation. What would happen if a witch could simply whisper the incantation quietly to herself or not even say it at all? Boy, that would be so cool. I'd be casting spells all day long and no one would ever see it coming. Maya, we spent the entire trial proving that you weren't a witch, remember?
Yeah.
If the witches didn't give some sort of signal, then there would be no way for the shades to know when to cast the spell. Right you are, Mr. Wright. The incantations were a way of telling the shades when the witch was ready to use magic. What on earth? Never did these requirements have such a purpose. Yeah. Now, let's think back to the previous events leading up to today that have involved magic. Our first encounter with magic was the use of the spell Ignace a few nights ago. A spell like this. It was nothing more than a flame spewed from a machine being used by the shades. Then that means Demir, a spell that makes the caster disappear, no doubt about it. It must have been this rope.
Second level
Next.
spel is dat normaal gesproken invisibility.
Okay.
You
Next,
think from
next is
dragons.
the incident with Goldor, the spell that transmuted me into gold statue. While I understand this may sound a bit absurd, I can only surmise that the shades created a gold statue in my image and took me and left it in my place the instant the incantation was uttered. Wayo. We can therefore conclude that all of the magic in Labyrinthia was created in a similar vein. What would you say to that, Miss Darklaw?
Puntje, puntje.
I expect nothing less from you, Inquisitor Layton. At any given time, there have been 5 and 10 witches in town. All of the witches were accompanied by shades at all time. It was easier than you would think. You see, the shades living in the Eldritch Woods total in the hundreds. Okay. It was simply a matter of having each of the shades operate in shifts in order to watch over each of the witches within the town. I must say, Lady Darkcloud, that's quite a number of shades. It was not only those who fell victim to the flames that were turned into shades, but their victims too were made permanent residents of Eldritch Woods. Then, those two shady thieves from before were turned into shades? Ah, yes, you mean Robs and Mugs? Despite their dubious appearance, those two were a couple of my best shades. I cannot believe what I've heard.
Nou.
However, there's still one thing not to understand just yet, and what would that be? As has just been explained, we have established that there are no possibility of magic being real. But replacing me with a gold statue to give the illusion of transmutation, for example, well, it sounds simple enough. I myself, and presumably also Miss Faye, have no recollection of this replacement actually taking place. Hey, that's right, the professor got all bling blingy before I could even bat an eye. It begs the question, how and when was the statue created, let alone used to replace me? That's true. The same goes for Godor. It is supposed to create a portal between two green-colored walls. Perhaps that is exactly why the spell can only work on green walls, Mr. Wright. Still, it would be impossible for the shades to get those portals ready so quickly. I agree, we'll take a moment to think. We can see that all of these spells have one strange thing in common. A thing in common? Yes, indeed. Almost as if some time between the start and the end of the incident were unaccounted for. Furthermore, any memory I might have had regarding the incident seems to have simply disappeared in the process. I've got it, Nick. It's just like what happened to Kira. She's got absolutely no memory of her life in Labyrinthia before the trial, right? Yes, I do not remember this Kira you speak of. And, oh yeah, when you really think about it, doesn't it seem super weird how the shades are able to return to the town if they complete their tasks?
Yeah.
You're right, Maya. I mean, the townsfolk are bound to remember some of the things about them, right? Like how Miss Kira here threw a major hissy fit in the court and was barbecued for being a witch.
Ja, en dat is ook waarom ze in het begin, toen wij hier kwamen, toen stond ineens een muur achter ons. Dat is ook waarom ze niet konden herinneren dat er ooit geen muur was geweest.
Precies. Hence, we cannot yet conclude that this entire illusion was primarily accomplished through the use of machinery. En ik denk dat de volgende aflevering de laatste aflevering wordt. Bedankt voor het kijken van deze aflevering. Vond je het nou een leuke aflevering, doe een duimpje omhoog. En dan zie je graag volgende keer. Adios, amigos.